Good morning to all. Today we are going to discuss a second prose, the night the ghost got in. Imagination of the odd things always lead to the absolute humor. Sometimes we will imagine more, but the thing which will happen, it sometimes make us to end in laugh. The same thing, read the lesson and enjoy the narrator's experience with his grandfather who created chores and the laughter with this imaginative story. So, this is because of things which is created by his Arthur's grandfather, there is a confusion at the home, at end it ends in laughter. Let us see what is the story. The ghost that got into our house on the night of November 17, 1915 rise such as a hullabaloo of the misunderstanding, that is, I am sorry I did not just let it keep on walking and go to bed. So, this is the incident which is happened in the Arthur's house on November 17, 1915. So, there is a noise, hullabaloo, it means the confusion, the thing which is happened of the misunderstanding of the Arthur, that he is really feeling sorry. If he had not heard the sound, such chores will not happen in his house. So, Advent caused my mother to throw a shoe through the window of our house next door and ended up in the grandfather shooting a patrolman. I am sorry therefore, as I have said, that ever paid any attention to the footsteps. If Arthur is telling, if he had not attended to the footsteps, he had not heard the footsteps, this types of incident had not happened. What are the things? What happened? He had listened the footsteps. Because of that, he had think that is something is going to happen at the home. He thought that is a ghost, and he had conveyed that mother had thought that is a burglar. And what happened? She had took her shoe and thrown it at the next door window. Because of that, they made a call and the policeman came, and at the end the grandfather shot the patrolman. So, these things all happened because of the misunderstanding of the Arthur. Let us see what is that incident happened at the home. They began about 1 o'clock in the morning. What is meant by quarter past? Quarter means if you take 60 minutes, we have to divide it into 4. Quarter means 15 minutes. So, quarter past, it means 1:15. The time is 1:15 a.m. in the morning. A rhythmic, quick, condensed walking around the dining table. My mother was asleep in one room upstairs, my brother Herman in the another. My grandfather was in the attic in the old walnut bed, which was, you will remember, once fell on my father. I had just stepped out of the bathtub and I was brushily rubbing myself with a towel when I heard the step. There were the steps of the man walking rapidly around the dining table upstairs. The light from the bathroom shone down the back steps, which is dropped directly into the dining room. I could see the faint shines of the plates on the plate trail. So, what happened when it is about 1:15 in the morning, the Arthur heard a sound which is going around the dining table. So, his mother, he is describing where they are sleeping. His mother is sleeping on the one room and upstairs, and the brother in his another room, and his grandfather is in the attic. Attic means it's a separate room at the top of Paran. We used to say Paran or Madam in Tamil. We used to say that. So, he is sleeping there. He is sleeping in the walnut bed. It means Nar Kattal. He is sleeping in that. What happened? Arthur is just taking bath, and he came out from the bathing tub, and he is rubbing his body with a towel. At the time, there is a sound he had heard from the dining room. There were the steps of the man walking rapidly around the dining table downstairs. So, rapidly he is someone is walking around, rapidly means very fast, someone is walking around the dining table. The light from the bathroom shone down the back steps. So, the light which is in his bathroom is showing the dining table down. There how it is very dull, which dropped directly into the dining room. I can see the faint shine of the plates on the plate rail. Plate rail means plate stand, where we will use to keep the plate for drying. There he is seeing the faint shine. Faint shine means dull shine is there. I could not see the table. He can't able to see the table, but he can see the plate stand. The step kept going round and round the table. Now the step started moving round and round. He can hear the sound of the stepping of the man. At regular interval, a broad creak. There is a creaking sounds are there. There is a board, that board creaking sound is there. When it was drawn upon, I supposed at the first that it was my father or my brother Roy who had gone to the Indiana police, but were accepted to come home at any time. I suspect the next that is a burglar. It did not enter my mind until later that it was a ghost. So, at first he is thinking it might be his father or his brother Roy. They are in the police. So, they are expected to come at any time. Again he started to think that it might be the burglar. Burglar means the robber, thief. So, again then later he is realized that is not a ghost, that is not a burglar, it may be the ghost. See, after a walking had gone to the perhaps 3 minutes, I tiptoed to the Herman's room, passed, I hissed him in the dark, shaking him. He said in the low hopeless tone of the despondent beagle. He always half suspected that something could get him in the night. I told him who I was. There was something downstairs. So, what happened? He is going in the tiptoes. Tiptoes means not tapping his foot on the floor. Simply they are walking in the air, like walking with the tip of the toe. That is tiptoes, without silent, without making any sound. With the silent he went there. And he is making his brother to wake up, and he is telling what is happening on the downstairs. I said, he got up and followed me to the head of the back staircase. The step had creased. So, what happened? The brother Herman is also following the Arthur to see what is happening down. So, they had followed. The step was up to the step they went, the staircase. There is no that end up to the end of the creased means the end of the staircase. They went up to the end of the staircase. Herman looked at me, and in some alarm, I had only the bath towel around my waist. I wanted to go back to the bed. I gripped his arm. So, what happened? By seeing the Arthur's appearance, already I had told him, immediately after the bath from the bathtub, he had just tied a bath towel on his wrist, and he is standing there. By seeing that his brother have a doubt something happened to the Arthur, so he started ignoring the words of his brother. Arthur's word, his brother is going towards the room. What happened? He is gripping his and he is holding his arm. There's something down there, I said. Instantly the step began again. So, at the first there is no sound, again the sound started to come. Circled the dining table like a man running and started up in the stair down as heavily the two at the times. The light still shone palely down the stair. We saw nothing coming. We heard the steps. Herman rushed to the room and slammed the door. I shut the door at the stair top and held my knee against it. So, what happened? Again they heard the sound. So, what happened? By hearing the sound, his brother Herman went inside the home and room, and he slammed the door. He has slammed it, he closed it. Again what Arthur did, he also going to the upstairs, and he himself had slammed the door and putting his knee against the door, should not to open. He is balancing the door. After a long time, I slowly opened it again. There was nothing there. There was no sound. None of us heard the ghost again. So, what happened? After a few minutes, he started to open the door and peep through outside. There is nothing. No sound is there. No ghost at all. So, the slamming of the door had aroused the mother. She peeped out of her room. What on the earth was boys doing? She demanded. She is shouting. She is asking to the boys what is happening there, because they are smashed the door again and again. So, Herman ventured out of this room. Herman is coming out boldly, without very boldly he is coming out. Herman, nothing, he said roughly, but he was in the color and the light green. What was all there running around the downstairs, said the mother. The only nothing is there, only there is a sound in the downstairs. So, she heard the step too. So, now mother is also had heard the sound of the steps. We just look at there, burglar, she was shouted intelligently. I tried to quieten her by staring slightly downward. So, what happened? Now, the mother also started to shout without thinking anything, immediately. Intelligently means immediately she is shouting burglar. Burglar means the thief. Come on, Herman, I said. She is calling, the mother is calling the Herman, Arthur's brother. I will stay with mother. He said she is all excited. So, he is telling, Arthur is telling, I will stay with mother, because he himself is afraid of the sound, and here he is acting like he will safeguard the mother. I step back onto the landing. Don't either of you go a step, said mother. He is trying to get down, but mother is stopping them not to get down. Well, I will will call the police. Since the phone was downstairs, I did not see how we are going to call a police, nor I want the police. But the mother made one of her quick, incomparable decision. She had flanked up the window of her bedroom with the faced the bedroom window of the house of the neighbor, pick up a shoe and wrapped it through a pane of a glass across the narrow space that separated the two houses. The glass ringed into the bedroom occupied by the retired engraver named Blodwell and his wife. The Blodwell had been for some years in the rather a bad way and is subjected to the mild attack. Almost everybody know or live near had some kind of attacks. So, what happened now? Immediately mom is taking the shoe and she is making the shoe to throw towards the window which is separating both the house. She is thrown the window to the near house. The two people are there. Who are they? The Bladwell and his wife. He went in a young age, he went for something bad, he had a bad habit, again he had a mild attack. So, the people, those who are living near that, they have some attack. It means the people living near them, they also have some health issues. It was not about 2 o'clock of the moonless night. So, this incident is happened at 1:15 morning, now it is at 2 o'clock in the morning. So, within this 45 minutes, simply they had gone through all the things at their home. So, now it is at 2 o'clock. A cloud hang black and low. Now, the cloud is black with this. It means the sky is very dark. Bloodwell at the window in the minute, shouting frontly. It means spitting out the saliva. He is shouting, shaking his feet. Well, I will see the house and go back to the Otria. I will sell the house and go back to the Otria. He could hear Mrs. Broadwin saying, it was something before mother got through to the Bloodwell. Burglars, she shouted, burglars in the house. Herman and I hadn't dared to tell her that it was not a burglar but ghost, for she was even more afraid of the ghost than the burglar. So, now the man who the next house man, he came, the Bloodwell, he is asking, his wife is scolding, if you do like this I will sell the home and go to some other places. Then what happened? Now the mother is telling him the reason why she had thrown the shoe on the window. She is telling there is a burglar in the house. Even the headman and the Arthur is afraid to say it is not a burglar, it is a ghost, because the mother will afraid more for the ghost more than the burglar. So, Bladwell at the first thought she meant that there was a burglar in his house. He is thinking the burglar in his house. But finally, he quieted down and called the police for us over the extension of the phone by his bed. So, by the phone extension he have in his bedroom. So, he had made a call to the police. Finally, the police came. After he had appeared for the window, the mother suddenly make it too and thrown the another shoe, but not because there was a further need of it, but she later explained because the thrill of having a shoe through the window glass have enormously taken her fancy and prevented her. So, she is once again she is taking another shoe and throwing towards the same window. This is not for any need further, she no need any needs from the next door people. Simply she is to make herself to relax, she is throwing the another shoe also. The police were on the hand in the commendable short time. So, the police came at the spot at the very short time. the four sedans full of them. So the people, they came in a car with the full people sitting in the car, the 2 on motorbikes and the patrol wagon about the 8 in it, and the few reporters. So there is a patrol van came, 2 came on the bike, motorbike, and and few people from the car. They began banging at your front door. So they have started to strike the front door. The flashlights show streets of the climb up down the wall, across the yard, down the walk, between the house and the blood wells. Open up, cried the harsh voice. We were men from the headquarters. So they are tapping the door and they are telling, they are flashlighting the lawn, the house, everywhere they are, across the walls, everywhere they are lighting, searching for the burglar, and there is a voice they had heard that some men they had came from the headquarters. I wanted you to go down and let them in, since they were, but the mother won't hear of it. You haven't switched on. She pointed out, you caught your dead. I would the towel around me again. Finally, the cop put the shoulders to the big heavy front door with a stick belaving glass, and they broken it. I heard the rendering of the wood and the splash of the glass on the floor of the wall. Their light plays all over the living room, and they crisscross nervously in the dining room, stabbing in the hallway, shout up the front stair, and finally up the back. They caught me standing in my towel at the top. A heavy policeman bounded up the step. Who are you? He demanded. I live here, I said. So what happened? The police, they came inside. He is ready to go and open the door, but his mother refused because he had tied only the bathing towel. So what happened? The police, they had broke their glasses, and they enter door and they enter into the houses, and they are searching here and there. The Arthur is standing with the bath towel at the top. So one policeman went upstairs and he is asking what the reason, who are you? And he is telling that he is the man who is living in the same house. So the officer in charge reported to the mother, no sign of nobody, lady. He said, must have not away. What he is like? That's where 2 or 3 of them, mother said, whooping and carrying and slamming the door. Funnily, said the cop, all your windows and the doors are locked on the inside tightly as a tick. Downstairs he could hear the tramping of another police. The police were all over the place. The door were yawned open, drawers were yawned open, the windows were shut up and pulled down, furniture fell with the dump thrum. A half dozen policemen emerged out of the darkness of the front hall upstairs. They began to ransack the floor and pulled the beds away from the wall and tore the cloths of the books in the closets and pulled the suitcase and the boxes off the shelf. So what happened? Now the policeman is telling to the lady, the mother, there is no sign of nobody. It means there is no sign of anybody, we have to say in general English, but here in a colloquial language, while speaking as a spoken language, he had said there is no sign of nobody, no one is there, lady, and she is telling two or three people are smashing the door, slamming the door and doing all these things, but it was not happened. This slamming of the door is done by the his own sons. So she is telling the cop means police. So what happened? Now the police had replied, all the doors and the windows are tightly closed, and they had pulled all the furnitures down, and they had taken it dull thumbs, means reversely, they are putting all the dining table, everything to be upside down. And the police, some dozens of police, 6 police, half dozen policemen, 6 policemen, they were climbed up the upstairs, and they ransacked the floor, means they had damaged the floor, they had pulled the beds away from the wall, they had taken the bed and throw it on the floor, and they had tore the clothes of the hooks of closets, the hanging curtain, all they had torn, and they had taken off the boxes from the shelves, and everything, they had messed the houses. One of them found an Zyre that Roy had won in the pool tournament. So Zyre is an instrument, string instrument, musical instrument, that it was won by the Roy. Roy is a brother of Herman and Arthur. He is working in the Indianapolis. So here there is one thing. Look here, Joe. He said, strumming with it a big paw. The chop named Joe who took it and turned it over. What it is? He asked me. It is an old Zyre. Our guinea pig used to sleep on it. I said it was true that the pet guinea pig he once had would never sleep anywhere except on the Zyre. But I should never have to said so. The Joy and the other cop look at me a long time. They pulled the Zyre back on the shelf. So, what happened? There is an instrument they had find out and they are asking what it is, and he is explaining he have a guinea pig. It means it is like a rabbit, small domesticated animal that we can grow in a house as a pet animal. So, he also having that same pet animal. This guinea pig always used to sleep in the zair. No sign, oh nothing, said the cob, who had first spoken to the mother, and the lady seemed hysterical. So, they are thinking the lady gone mad. The policeman, the cob is replying that the lady was mad. So, simply she is telling something. They all nodded but said nothing, just look at me. The small silence, we heard the creaking in the creaking sound in the attic. Again they had started hearing the noise. So, grandfather was turning over in the bed. What that, snapped Joe. 5 or 6 cobs sprang from the attic door. Before I could intervene or explain, I realized that it had been bad if they had burst into the grandfather unannounced or even announced. He was going through the pass in which he believed that the general men under the steady hammering by Stonewall Jackson were being to the retreat the even deserted. So, if they enter before his explanation to the policeman who they are, just simply these people, the cop, they enter into the grandfather room. He know if they inform also, if they are not inform also, there will be definitely there will be a problem. So, what happened, in what imagination the old man is sleeping, the grandfather is sleeping, he is thinking the person, those who are enter in the home, they might be, there is a war between the Americans, between Middleman and the Stonewall Jackson. The Stonewall Jackson had fought bravely and they had make the people to drive away from that place. Even he had deserted. So, the grandfather thought these men are running to seek help in his house. When I got to the attic, the things were pretty confused. Grandfather had evidently jumped to the conclusion that the police were deserted from the Meadows army, trying to hide away in the attic. So, he is thinking that the man, they came from the Stonewall Jackson, he had defeated the people. So, they had came here to seek a place in the hide themselves in the attic. He bounced out of the wearing a long flannel nightgown over his long woolen pants, a nightcap and a leather jacket around his chest. The cop must have to realize at once that the indignant white-haired old man belonged to the house, but they had no chance to say so. Back he cowardly dog groaned grandfather back. The lines, you madam lily-livered cattle. With that he fenced the officers who found Lazarus a flat and handed smashed along his head. He sent his sprawling the next beats of retreating, but not enough. The grandfather grabbed his gun from his hostlers and let fly. The reporter seems to crack the raffers smoked filled the attic. So, what happened by seeing these people, the grandfather started to smack, S-M-A-C-K, smack means beating on their head. Simply the grandfather take the side and bet the cop. So, what happened? He was injured and now the report seems to be cracked the rafter. Rafter means the ceiling at the top. In Tamil we used to say utram. They will have a wood at the ceiling, that is for the strengthening or for the safeguard of the ceiling not to fall. They will keep on big log on the top of the building, at the ceiling of the building. The cop cursed and shouted the cop cursed a shout on his hand to the shoulder. Somehow we all finally got upstairs and down again and locked the door again. The old gentleman, he fired once or twice more in the darkness, then went back to the bed. That was the grandfather. I explained to Joe out of breath. He think you are deserted. I will say he does, said Joe. So, he is thinking. Again what happened, the grandfather came down and he started shooting 1 or 2 times towards the people. One was injured. The cop was reluctant to leave without getting the hands on some. He is very reluctant. He hesitated to leave the house without catching anything. So, the night he had distinctly a defeat from him. Furthermore, he obviously did not like the outlet. Something look and I see their viewpoint phony. They began to poke wispy men came up to me. I have put on one of his mother dress, but not being able to find anything else. The reporter looked at me with a mingled suspicious and interest. So the author had not at the time the author had weared the dress of his mother. So by seeing that, the reporter had a suspicion in him. What had happened? Nothing has happened here. I had not caught anything. I decided to be frank with him. We got ghost. I said, I gazed at me at the long time as if were a slot machines inside into which we had without result dropping a coin. So what happened? He wanted to be frank. He said that is not a burglar. So he said that is a ghost. What happened? He gazed, the reporter gazed at the author. They had explained the situation, how if it in railway station and all in olden days there will be a machine. At the machine, if you drop a coin, immediately it will show our weight what it is. Likewise, simply the man is waiting without simply gazed, seeing him. Without knowing the result what is happening. It's like he had explained that situation. Then he walked away, the cop followed him. Then the grandfather stood holding it now bandaged arm, cursing, and I am gone get my gun back from the old bird. He is telling here old man, because he had flied and shooted him. No, that's why they had mentioned the old bird. The cop followed him. I am gone get back my back from my old bird, said the Zaire cop. Yes, said you and who else? I told them I would bring it the station house the next day. So now author is asking apology for them, what the things has happened, and he is telling that he will bring the gun the next day to the police station. What was the matter with that? One the policeman mother asked. So mother is asking what's happened to the one of the policeman. After that they gone. After they went, the mother asked. Grandfather shot him. I said what for? She demanded. I told her he was a deserter of all. Deserter means those who are not having the courage to fight against the battle. If they run away, no, the முதுகு காட்டி ஓடுவாங்கன்னு சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல பேட்டில், that's thing he said. So all of us said mother, he was such a nice looking young man. So mother is now, he again started humor. What mother is again replying, he is looking very young, why he want to run away. The grandfather was up fresh as a daisy and full of joke at the breakfast next morning. He thought at the first he had forgotten all about what had happened, but he hadn't. Over this third cup of coffee, he glared at Herman and me. What was the idea? It means idea of all them triagonic round the house last night. He demanded, none of you bothered to leave a bottle of water beside my bed? Do you ever realize what is the cost of the thirsty man to look for the water in the dining room last night? He had us there. So what happened? Now this next morning the grandfather came as daisy, as fresh. Daisy means the flower. How he came fresh and he simply he was quiet and he staring at the Arthur and his brother. He had not opened anything. After drinking the coffee of the third cup, he started slowly. He had started. You don't have a responsibility to keep the water on near my bed. See what is the thing which just happened yesterday because of the thirsty man. Because of the thirsty man to look for the water in the dining room last night. So he is telling the thing which then only they come to realize this is the man who had go around the dining table is the grandfather. So because of the misunderstanding, this story ends with a humor sense. So you people start learning the question answers. Thank you.